Hey YouTubers, if you guys missed out on our live stream earlier this week, make sure you hit that subscribe button on our channel. That way you guys get notifications every time we go live. We did a great 1-hour Q&A session with Todd and I here in the studio, so if you guys missed it, make sure you subscribe.
And not only that, they missed all the great prizes we gave away, Justin. I mean, there are some legitimate good prizes, and if you don't get the
Free hunt on Todd's farm.
Well, that was not a part of the deal. It's going to be with Justin and the big monster that he's chasing.
Oh,
but
yeah, come on out.
If you want to be eligible for those prizes and you want to get those notifications, make sure you subscribe. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Bowhunt or Die. Justin, I mean, this is kind of like the calm before the storm right now.
I knew you were going to say the calm
I
before the storm.
we said it before we started.
But
I love it. I tell you what, this is, I know that sometimes maybe these episodes where you're just seeing who's chasing what bucks make it kind of long, but I love this part for some reason.
Well, for some people, the storm has already begun. You know, we had some seasons opening up already. I know Darryl Bell's been close on a couple really nice bucks. I've been seeing his social media updates. But guys, this week's show is going to be all about hit lists and what deer survived last year that people know are alive, cool. And who's going to be chasing what. So we're going to get started with Tyler Rector. We're going to break out the big guns first. He's down in Fulton County. Those guys always seem to have the biggest bucks to chase, so let's start with Tyler now.
Well, hey guys, Tyler Rector here, checking in. It's end of August, and basically what we're doing today is we're kind of setting up some mock scrapes a little bit. Put one right here, right behind me here, where you can see the stealth cam on it, kind of facing this little alfalfa and clover mixed food plot, and made a mock scrape tree a little bit closer to the stand with the scrape, with the Tinks scrape dripper on it. And I didn't put a camera on it yet. Basically, most of these bucks come out of the thicket right here, and a lot of times what they do is they sit here, and they've always been able to scan this entire food plot, which is about 2 acres of food that I have, and they could scan the whole food plot, and if they didn't see any deer, they just turned around and went back in the woods. So this year, did a little different. I got the miscanthus and the corn, basically just right behind the camera right here, about 10 yards. Got just a little bitty sliver of alfalfa and clover food plot here that most of these deer will probably feed on until almost dark, and then head out towards the road where that miscanthus is that I had in my video last couple weeks ago. And what I'm hoping they do is they come out here, hit this scrape, and instead of just walking straight out in the middle of nowhere through that corn, they walk over and hit the scrape by the tree stand. Now, I got one buck that I'm hoping that really comes over here. We call him Chuck Norris. He's a 5-year-old this year, finally old enough to shoot. Last year he was probably in the 170 to 180 mark. We got one shed to him. It was 92 inches, but that was his big side. He's not very wide. Granted, he's only here usually in September, and then a couple times during the rut, and then sometimes late season. But last year he got hit by a car, or hit by something in late season, and by the time he showed up, he was really sick looking, big old broken leg, all swelled up, couldn't hardly walk, skin and bones, and he shed before season was over. Miraculously has pulled through. He's alive, looking pretty good. I haven't got any trail pictures of him yet, but I've seen him with my own eyes. And he's looking pretty good. He might not quite be as big as what he was last year at age of 4, but considering he was injured, and had a lot of stress. He's probably still right around that 175, 180 mark. But we got a handful of other bucks that I would shoot. Haas, big 8-year-old this year. Haven't got any picture of him this year either, but I know he's still alive because I missed him late season last year, right before Dustin came and killed a buck. And we got one shed to him, and unless he died of old age, he should still be around. A buck called Muley, he's a 5-year-old this year that we've been passing up. Really cool looking buck, got a lot of character. I'd be tickled to death to shoot this deer. I've seen him in the last 2 years hunting, so chances are he might just keep doing the same thing he's been doing. I'm not sure, but hopefully he does, and we get a crack at him. Got a big deer down on another farm that I didn't even hunt last year. Just didn't have any pictures of any shooters except this one buck, and he was there for one day during the month of November and never came back, basically. And he's kind of done that the last 3 years of his life, and this year he's 5, and he has been there already 3 or 4 times, which tells me that maybe he's living a little bit closer this year. And so I'd shoot him, and just a handful of other bucks that look really good on camera, but in velvet they always look bigger, so it's really hard to tell exactly what we got going on. But you know, we've been bouncing back from EHD from a few years ago, and honestly this is the first year that I've been really excited because the buck pictures have been phenomenal already, and normally you don't even get them until the rut. So if the last few weeks has anything to show for what the upcoming season is going to be, it ought to be a good one. I'm going to be picky, but not too picky. Anything 5, I'm going to shoot. I don't care if it's 100 inches, 200 inches, getting shot or shot at. And basically, I'm having another baby girl here. September 13th is the due date, but we might be going early. And harvest is going to start around September 15th probably, the way it's kind of looking. The crops are starting to turn, so we'll be really busy here in about 3 weeks. So until October 1st, you probably won't see me again. But just a few tips that I shared with you today. Hopefully we get a big one down and have another good year. And good luck to you guys. Use those safety systems and those lifelines. I don't climb a tree without one, and you shouldn't either.
I think I need to start taking some lessons from Tyler on how to get some of those good shots. I mean, he really has got some great trail camera photos there, Justin. I'll tell you, I'm always interested in the bucks that get injured, get wounded, get hit by cars. It's amazing how tough those animals really are. In the case that the one that he's been still seeing that made it through last year, I'm looking forward to see what that buck's going to look like.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame when a deer gets injured like that, you know, from a rack perspective. A lot of times they don't grow, you know, as big the way you want them to, but still a great, you know, 5-year-old buck that Tyler's going to be chasing. And guys, you know, Tyler's got the luxury, you know, where he's at to be able to let some of those deer grow to be 5 years old. A lot of us don't have that luxury. And we talk about this a lot, you know, well, everybody hunts for their own different reasons, and you're able to do different things depending on your situation, how much land you have to hunt, how much time you have to hunt. Tyler's a fortunate guy. He shot a lot of really good deer in his life, and, you know, he's willing to let those big 4-year-olds walk by like we saw, you know, to let them reach, you know, 5 years old. So good for him. I'm still 4-year-old. In my mind, is getting shot. I'm not quite at the 5-year-old yet, maybe someday, but yeah, 4 is dead in my book.
Well, I mean, one thing that Tyler has always had a lot of success with, and we talk about it on the show quite a bit, is, you know, are those mock scrapes. I mean, I can think of, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, man, he had that great
been like
buck.
3 years.
I don't know. Maybe
time flies.
Time does fly, but I mean, he set up that mock scrape. He's always been an advocate of setting those things up, and he's done very well hunting over them. And now, you know, one thing that I've always done when I go out to hunt, you know, I'll have a mock scrape set up, and sometimes you go out to hunt, you're like, man, you work so hard to get to those stands, and sometimes you just don't want to go up and maybe refill the bottle on that hunt. But now, with Tinks' new, you know, gel shot, this is actually kind of convenient, because now you don't have to go contaminate, right, that scrape. You can stay back. I mean, I know it says shoots up to 10 feet, but I mean, literally, I have shot this thing, and I think it's further than that myself.
Yeah.
But make sure the wind is not coming like back at you.
It's not as big of an issue now because it's a gel. right? It's not.
I
just
still
a
don't want to be
total
gelled.
aerosol. Yeah, no, you don't want to gel yourself. This is some pretty powerful stuff. But yeah, cool product for you guys to check out this year. The Tinks Hot Shots now in the gel stream, available in all the popular lure combinations. I guess this one here is the trophy buck. But you know, good luck to Tyler chasing some of those deer this fall. Guys, next up, we're going to hop up to Wisconsin. We're going to check in with Johnny Herrmann. Ooh. We're also going to check in with Neal McCullough, who hunts both Wisconsin as well as Minnesota. So let's check in with them now.
Hey everybody, Johnny Herrmann here. It is August 20th. I'm up in northern Wisconsin. I'm sitting on the west gate right now. I snuck up here with my wife yesterday. She's hot and humid. It's still morning. It's like 11:30 a.m., but it feels like it's about 80 some degrees right now. But I just wanted to give you guys an update of what's going on in my world. We're less than a month away from Wisconsin's archery deer opener. So I wanted to get up here, do a little pruning on some stands, make sure that all my shooting lanes were cleared out. I also checked on some stealth cams, and it turns out we've got some better bucks showing up here, which is always a good thing. It's tough to pinpoint big bucks during the summer months. They just don't have to move very far, you know. And then it seems like the later into the summer you get and the early fall, you start getting some better bucks showing up, and I know that there's some dispersal that happens as well, but it just seems like, you know, we start getting our better bucks showing up late August and early September. So we've got some showed up now, which is a beautiful thing. I've got a buck right here crossing right where I've killed Westgate 8 and Westgate 10, and I'm going to name him the Westgate 11, a little bit bigger. So pretty jacked up about that. Also got a couple of bear tags up here, so I did some bear baiting. We got bears coming into both of the baits that we got going, so that's a plus. And then, yeah, just checking stealth cams, clearing lanes, baiting baits, getting everything ready. So I just wanted to give you guys an update on what's going on in my world. I hope you guys are getting everything all prepared for your openers in whatever state you're in. Just remember, stay safe out there. If you're up in a tree, make sure you got your harness on. And there's no sense getting hurt out here. So anyways, be safe, line up a big buck, shoot him dead opening day, and send us some pictures. We'll see you from a tree stand here shortly.
The outdoors. It seems so plain and simple. But that's exactly what Moose Utility Division is all about. We make no excuses, because no matter what it is, it has to get done. So bring on the seasons, because we enjoy all of them.
Good morning. Today is the first week in September, and it's an absolutely gorgeous morning, probably in the 50s. It's a great day to be shooting your bow. I'm out getting some last minute practice in and starting to think about my hit list for this upcoming season. Minnesota has actually been a lot of fun for me. I decided to put in a new food plot, and I've been working on that all summer. It hasn't been extremely successful, but I had pretty good luck. I had to actually go back in a week ago and sprinkle in the cereal rye, the buck forage oats, winter rye, and winter wheat. I got those in right before a good rain, so hopefully they will take. My trail cameras have been pretty good. I did have a camera that got completely covered with ants, and a couple of cameras with some bad or dead batteries, but overall I've been able to put together a pretty good hit list for Minnesota. So the number one buck is, of course, the lobster buck. I've now been chasing him for 3 seasons, 2015, 2016, and 2017. I was able to find his shed, the biggest shed I've ever found. I found that this spring, so he's back. I got him this year, one picture, and he will definitely be number one. And number two, equally excited about this buck, is a buck I call the Little Surprise. I actually saw him 2 times last year and passed him both times. The first was opening day, Great footage of him. He came right under the tree, and I just decided to hold out. And then I saw him again on November 12th during the rut, and I passed him again as well then. So 2 great encounters, and passed him both times. And this year he will not get the pass. The last buck is a new buck I'm calling Forker. Just a dandy buck with points everywhere, and he's got fork G1, so he will definitely be on the hit list. All right, and now on to Wisconsin. For Wisconsin, it's going to be a great year as well. I don't have the ability to do food plots and those kinds of things in the properties I hunt in Wisconsin. However, I do have a fair number of great deer that I'll be chasing. The first buck is a buck I call 747. He looks like he may have 7 on one side and 4 on the other, but he's built like an absolute tank, just a huge body, and I would love to have an encounter with him. The second buck is a buck that we're calling Harold, named by my buddy Matt. He was the first one to set us up on this new property way up high on a hill, and so we have no history with this deer, but he's a huge mainframe 8-pointer that we definitely would like to chase. In fact, we have 2 or 3 other 8-pointers that also are showing up that look like they'd be great deer. So a lot of good deer in Wisconsin, and hopefully we can make it happen. So good luck to everyone out there. Hope you're staying safe. Hope you have a great season, and we'll see you in less than 2 weeks for the opening day of archery season. So good luck, bow hunt or die.
Man, Justin, it's amazing to think that, I mean, when this show airs right now, I mean, literally you're talking 1 week away, and these guys are going to be able to go into a stand in Wisconsin and start hunting.
I got to admit, I'm a little jealous of the Wisconsin people. I'm not hunting Wisconsin this year. Got to wait till October. Looks like both those guys have some good deer to chase. Todd, one thing I got to say is we got to talk to Neal about his food plot seed spreading.
Dude.
Just go buy a spreader. I don't know what Neal's doing with this ridiculous handfuls of seed everywhere.
That's got to stop. I don't know what we're doing.
Seeders are not expensive,
no.
So Neal, just go buy one. Maybe we just got to get one for him.
I feel bad because I feel like we're picking on him right now, but I kind of made a note when I was watching his segment. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out who's the 747 buck. I mean, I looked at that image, and I don't see the 4
I see
on the
a
one
5x5 with a sticker on one side, which would make
I'm confused about the 747.
I don't know where the 747 comes from.
Neal, hopefully you can, I don't know, send us a new picture.
Enlighten us.
Something.
Give us some better photos.
747.
But in any case, great deer from both of those guys. The last 2 segments we are going to check in on is going to be Josh Sturgill, who is down south, and then we're also going to check in with Tim and Troy right here in Illinois. So let's visit with those guys now.
Well, it's the middle of August, and we're here on the property in northern Kentucky. It's been an outstanding year this year. We've had plenty of rain, unlike last year when we were in a drought, so our food plots have taken off. We spent a ton of time actually out in the woods getting our food plots in, getting them disked, getting them ready. We got them planted last week, so we're hoping they're going to take off and grow. This year we made some changes in the way we kind of approached everything with all of our properties. The properties that we have, we actually put a lot of feeders out this year. We focused on a lot of supplemental feeding. So we got with Heartland Wildlife, we got a lot of their products in, a lot of the high protein stuff, so we've been feeding all year. And for the first time since we've been doing this, we have just seen an absolute abundance and really nice, massive, bighorn bucks. Especially in areas in Tennessee that don't traditionally have a lot of big deer, we've seen some really nice bucks. And so this year for our hit list, man, we've got a bunch we're chasing. So our plan is this year we're going to hunt Arkansas, we're going to hunt Tennessee, we're going to hunt West Virginia, we're going to hunt Kentucky, and then here in 3 weeks we're headed out to Wyoming to see Dustin the crew, and who knows what we're going to get into out there. But here in Kentucky we're chasing a nice big 8-pointer, and there's also a 10-point. We've seen 2 together that came in, we've got on camera, that came into the feeders. They're just outstanding bucks. I would take any one of those. And so those are kind of the 3 we're after here in Kentucky. In Tennessee, we've got a bunch. We've got a really nice 10. We've got a really nice 9-pointer that we've seen in food plots. And then we've got just an awesome mangle horn buck. It's just odd. It looks like somebody's grabbed his antlers and twisted them, pulled them out, and done all kinds of funkiness with them, but it's just an amazing buck. He's coming in really regular to some food plots we've got in, and we're hoping that we're going to eventually get a shot at him. So it's just been outstanding year so far. You know, that can change immediately. Those deer can disappear, new ones can come in, so we're just really excited about what's going to happen. And we're going to get out here today on this property, get everything finalized and finished out, filled up and ready to go. And we're going to be ready. Season starts here in less than 3 weeks. And like I said, then we're going to be in Wyoming with Dustin. So our hunting's getting ready to start, and we can't wait. Bow hunt or die.
Hey guys, Tim and Troy here from bowhunting.com. The moment we've all been waiting for is just around the corner, and we just wanted to touch base with you guys, kind of let you know what we've been up to over the summer, kind of touch on our hit list, and let you know what our plans are here for in the future. We've been working hard on tree stands. We've got some new sits we're really excited about. This past 4 or 5 years, we've kind of stayed out of the woods, hunted the fringes, but we've kind of got a good understanding of the property. We feel comfortable pushing farther in during the rut and getting to some of those pinch points and hot spots where we think we can really capitalize.
So as Tim was mentioning, we've done a lot of work at the property between our tree stands and our food plots. We even put up electric fences around 2 of our food plots to really help hold those acre to acre and a half, so that come fall they're still around, because the deer hit them pretty hard. But on top of that, we're just really excited about the new setups that we got. This is my new Halon 32 from Matthews. We've been sponsored by HHA, and we've been using their sights, but they got the new rest out here. It's called the Virtus. It's a full capture drop away rest. Really pumped to be using that this year. And they came out with a 3-pin housing. So for those of you that weren't quite sold on the single pin, now you've got a 20, 30, 40. It's a 3-pin sight, and then you still have the king pin. You can roll the dial and use your 20-yard pin and mark everything else, and you can shoot out to 100 yards if you so desire. We also got my setup. I got the America's Best Bowstring on here, brand new red, white, and blue setup, pretty cool. And then the Luminox. We got HD orange this year, so really just everything feels like it's kind of a new setup, but it's amazing how easy it was. So I'm going to take a few more shots here. And then we'll talk to you about our hit list.
All right guys, so Troy's all dialed in, feeling confident with his new bow set up there for his adventure here in the near future, but we wanted to take a second and kind of touch base on our hit list. I'll start us off with a deer that I'm most excited about, a deer that we've had 3 years of history with that we call Sinclair. We first saw this deer when we believe he was 2.5 years old, and he's really blown up over the past few years. It seems like every year he's going to spend more, or he has spent more time on the property, and it feels like this year is the year to capitalize. Just a nice mainframe 10, some really nice high G2s, some junk coming off of his brow tines, a deer that, I would love to have an encounter with. I know Troy would as well, and the deer we're really excited about.
Yeah, the next one we're going to talk about is called Rick James. He got his name because he's a super freak. He's always had palmation on the right side. When we first saw him, he just had a paddle. But he actually developed last year, had even a second main beam. But I've been doing a lot of work, putting out trail cameras, putting them in some new spots, and this is the first year we've actually caught him in the summer on our property. Usually home ranges a few miles away, so we're really excited about that. But this is a deer my dad shot 2 years ago, hit him in the shoulder, we tracked him for 300 yards, found his shed from the previous year, had a broadhead lodged in it. None of us claim that to be ours unless someone's not telling the truth, but I believe he's been at least shot at confirmed twice. So he's a true warrior, an old deer, probably 6 years old this year, really good mass. He seems to have shrunk a little bit from last year, but no matter what, the character, the story, everything, that's just really on the top of my hit list of the bucks that I want to get this year.
Yeah, beautiful deer. All right, the next deer we want to touch base with is a deer we call Contra. Not as much history as Sinclair and Rick James, but he first showed up last year as a 3.5 is what we believe. A really nice looking 3.5. Spent a lot of time on the north side of the property, but kind of came on then left, and then came on and left. Didn't spend a lot of time. We're hoping with the hard work that we've put at that property and the food plots and a couple deer that we've harvested have created room for that deer. He's going to spend more time on the property. A deer I know Troy and I would be excited to harvest as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And just like last year, I shot a deer called Lucky. We named it on the spot. We had never seen him before, no history. So that's always a possibility when you put the work in, put the food plots. You have deer that change their summer ranges you don't have on camera and then all of a sudden show up in October, November. So that's what we're hoping for as well. You know, I went out with my father and we were filming over one of our food plots. We got some beans out there and we had these nice few bucks. One of them was a mainframe 10, the other one mainframe 8. Both of them looked like they were decent bucks, might be possible shooters. There's 3 of them hanging out. It was just a nice afternoon for my dad and I. That's the first time we've done that a few times, but that we've ever seen bucks like that. So we're really excited about this upcoming year. We even have a local property that we can hunt. We don't have any real intel, but we know we have 2 bucks over there that we have from last year. One got hit, so we don't know if he's actually going to develop really well. But guys, it's just one of those things where, you know, with 2 kids that Tim has, and I have 1 daughter, 10 months old, and I have another one on the way, a boy in February. You know, family, I'm sure you guys can all relate. It's really difficult to put all this time in. So that local property, hey, we might have an opportunity to buck over there. So we're excited about that, excited for the upcoming year. And for me, I'm super pumped. This week, Thursday, I'm heading out to Wyoming to meet up with Dustin the crew, my father and I, and we're gonna be chasing some muleys. So I'm all dialed in. We got the laundry running in here with a scent lock. So I'm gonna get packed up, and then the next time you'll see me, I'll be back behind the camera chasing some muleys. But until then, bow hunt or die.
You know, Justin, I don't know what it is this year, but I mean, there are some legitimate big bucks this year. I mean, I don't know if it's the amount of rain that we've got.
There's legitimate big bucks every year.
I know. This year, I mean, looking at the guys' photos, talking to the guys, I mean, there are some super big bucks out there this year. I'm pumped for these guys.
Yeah, well, Tim and Troy, I mean, the last couple of years, just all the habitat improvements they've been doing on their farm and the food plots and passing some of these younger deer, I mean, it's really, really starting to pay off for those guys.
For sure.
They're getting some tremendous deer showing up on their farms, which, you know, gives them the opportunity to go out and chase some of those deer. I know both of those guys, you know, with little kids at home and kids on the way and everything else, their time might be a little bit limited this fall, so we'll be interested, you know, to see what happens there.
And I think one of the keys that they're doing too is, you know, sometimes when you watch the show, guys, you know, you're sitting back and you're cheering, you may be going, gosh, you know, they can just put in all that food. You know, it's not just that. It's also the discipline of, like you said, letting them go, and also picking areas on the property and calling them sanctuaries and staying out. I mean, I know just about every piece of property that I hunt and that I have. I mean, I have those defined areas where I do not go in, and it is set aside for the deer. And I think that's another thing that you can do if you just can't be doing all the food and stuff. You got to have those areas where deer can go and place themselves and stay put. I mean, it's just a fact.
Yeah, those kind of safe zones. And then we've got Josh Sturgill, you know, down in Kentucky and in Tennessee, that area. He's got some great deer on his cameras.
Yeah.
I mean, as we saw, he's finally starting to get some better deer show up down there. So hopefully he has some luck as well. You know, speaking of some of those guys, I know that Troy has already been out to Wyoming and actually harvested a tremendous mule deer, which we're going to see very soon on an upcoming show.
Josh is there right now.
Yeah, I think Josh is there right now chasing whitetails. So hopefully we'll see him out in Wyoming as well.
He's actually got a whitetail mule deer and a pronghorn tag.
Well, whitetail mule deer is
well,
the
it's
same
a combo.
tag. Yeah, it's the same tag. It's a deer and a pronghorn. So, you know, good luck to Josh, who's out in Wyoming right now. We're looking forward to seeing all those hunts on an upcoming episode. Guys, next up, we were visited earlier this summer by some of our sponsors here in the studio. One of those was Vortex Optics, talking to us a little bit about a new product that they've got. So let's look at that now. Hey guys, we've got a special guest here in the studio with us today. We've got Riley Arnold with Vortex Optics, and he's going to tell us about a cool new product that I'm actually really excited about for this year. These are the Fury range-finding binoculars, brand new product for 2017. So Riley, tell us about it, man.
Yeah, so we took our Viper HD optical system and then put our Ranger 1500 together. And we have a range-finding binocular, go out to 1,600 yards on reflective, 1,200 on non-reflective, so elk, whitetail, stuff like that. And
usually for my bow hunting needs, I'm limiting to about 40 yards, so 1,600 seems like plenty.
Yep.
But man, there's a ton of guys out there that, you know, bow hunt as well as gun hunt. I know Dustin out in Wyoming, you know, he's an outfitter out there, and he lives and dies by, you know, range finding binoculars. These are super, super handy. Ultimately, it just, you know, makes it so you've got one nice compact package that you just take into the field with you, put your bino harness on. You don't have to worry about your rangefinder losing it or forgetting one or the other. You literally have one thing to do, you know, a task that traditionally you've needed 2 things to do.
Yep. Yeah, you pull them up, get all the information you need, and then continue on your hunt or make that shot that you need. And pretty simple to operate. 2 buttons, and that's it.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, definitely a handy device to have. Guys, for those of you who aren't familiar with Vortex, you know, they've got hands down the best warranty, you know, in all of optics. I've been using Vortex binoculars for 10 years. I was telling Riley before we started filming this. I've sent mine back in a couple times to get fixed when I've messed up the eye cups, and they absolutely, no questions asked, fix your binoculars and send them back to you, and it's a lifetime warranty. So guys, you know, good optics are an investment. There's no question about it. You know, a good pair of binoculars, you know, they're not cheap, but you get what you pay for. You get awesome clarity, great glass, backed by a lifetime warranty. Literally, you drop these things off a mountain or out of your tree stand, run them over, what, you know, that's what Riley said, life happens, things happen, you send them back into Vortex, they're gonna fix them and send them back to you. I mean, you can't beat a warranty like that.
Yeah, we stand by our product, but we also want to stand by our customers, and that's our very important promise, our VIP warranty.
Yeah, awesome. So Riley, appreciate you being here today. Guys, if you're in the market for a new set of binoculars, rangefinder, or better yet, range-finding binoculars, check these things out, vortexoptics.com. This is the Fury range-finding binocular. Well, thanks again to Riley for stopping by the studio. Guys, if you're in the market for a great pair of optics, definitely give Vortex a look. In addition to that Fury, they also just released a brand new rangefinder earlier this week for $199. Great price point, great product, so definitely be sure to give them a look. Todd, next up, trophy photos.
Trophy photos.
You ready to do it?
I'm in. Let's go. Let's go. It's fun times. Joel Nason.
Mikey Frisbee.
Chuck Kimmel.
Chase Stugelmeyer.
And Cody Bryce. Hey guys, those are some great photos, and like always, if you'd like to see yourself right here on an exciting episode of Bowhunt or Die, make sure you submit those photos to info@bowhunting.com. Of course, we have to announce who's going to be getting the free hat this week. Justin and I kind of fought over this one a little bit, guys. I'm going to be frank with you. We did struggle. We actually have someone interviewing for a position that we allowed to help in with this position. So
like
Ryan,
we're passing the buck.
We're 100%. So if you are dissatisfied
that
you did not win this week, it's possibly a new hire that we're looking at. It's Ryan's fault. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and announce this right now. It is
Chase Stugelmeyer.
All right, Chase, you are going to get
nice
yourself.
Pronghorn.
It is a nice pronghorn. The issue that we had is just seeing it on that oak tree. I don't know if that's even an oak tree, but just seeing it sitting like that.
It's an oak tree. It's still a nice photo.
It's a great photo.
I still think you did a good photo.
It's irrelevant. He won. Chase, congratulations. You're going to get yourself a free hat right here from Bowhunt or Die, so make sure you get us your information. Justin, with that being said, I mean, there is so much, I mean, it's happening. I mean, we are starting right now. Guys are hunting.
Velvet is mostly
shredded.
off.
Oh, for sure.
Hardhorn antlers are out there. A lot of guys are hunting already. A lot of guys are going to be hunting very soon.
Acorns are on the ground big time.
Yes, it's definitely that time of the year. So guys, again, I know we preach this just about every time, but if you're out there doing tree stand work, make sure you wear your safety harness.
Yeah.
Make sure you use those lifelines. There's no excuse for anybody to get injured while climbing up or down from a tree. And that's all we've got, guys, for this week. From here on out, guys, we are going to weekly episodes because we got a bunch of team members that are already out hunting. So every week from here, pretty much, and through the duration, you're going to have weekly episodes of Bowhunt or Die. So we'll see you guys right here next week.
For more exciting action, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram and receive live updates from our team members as well as the latest happenings in the bow hunting and archery world. Be sure to share your photos, stories, and experiences as well. And don't forget to pick up your official bowhunting.com and Bowhunt or Die gear by visiting bowhunting.com/gear. We have a full selection of hats, shirts, decals, wristbands, and much more.
See? Good stuff.
Feel these quads. Feel these, baby.
I do miss naming the shows though.
We don't name them anymore?
We're 14 episodes deep and you just, wait, what? Where do we put these things again?
Where do they go? All right, let's do this.